Hello and welcome, Exiles, to the day one update to the Lich. I have to say, the leveling through the campaign went really well. I finished the entire campaign in 10 hours and about 5 minutes. I've been AFK here putting together a planner for the character. I'm actually pretty tired. We played 10 hours straight and it's like 1 a.m. for me, but I wanted to get this together because there's a lot of people that have been asking about gem links, pathing, stuff like that. So we put together a planner for you, which is an import of my character, along with our current tree, as well as I have a path of building with roughly what we're going to aim for in terms of our roughly about 65 to 70 range when we're swapped over to ES. Currently, the idea is we are running a hybrid mana life ES setup with Mind Over Matter temporarily until we get some good ES gear pieces, at which point we can drop the Mind Over Matter and the Mana Sustain investment and swap that into more ES Sustain and start leaning into the tank that Lich allows with these nodes. And then as we get more into that Energy Shield investment, we can consider a node like Eldritch Empower for 30% more damage. And later on, when we can afford a good jewel socket, this node becomes quite good as well. That's the 8 points I'm thinking about going for on the character. As for showcasing the build in action, let's talk about the setup or the skills first, and then we'll get into that. So the skills are as follows. We're doing Essence Drain combined with Contagion. It's pretty simple. Essence Drain onto a pack of monsters, put on Contagion on it, and then it will just spread and chain through and kill monsters. Pretty much just once per pack you cast both of those skills, and then when it comes to a boss, you're basically just repeat casting Essence Drain, and you'll put a curse on the boss, and then you'll just walk around. That's all there really is to it. As for a little bit of the extra things we got going on, support gem wise, I liked when I started out on the campaign initially. In Act 1, I started out with Contagion, Frostbomb as my first two skills. You don't get Essence Drain until level 6 after you kill the Rust King. So you just use Contagion, Frostbomb, and Unearth, some combination of that until you get to level 6 and you get that first level tier 3 gem and you get Essence Drain, at which point you could probably drop Frostbomb and you could drop Unearth and just play Essence Drain Contagion from that point forward. But initially, your skills is just kind of awkward until you get Essence Drain. As for your first support gem, I like Chain, making it easier to get an Essence Drain proc that you can cast Contagion on, because what happens early on when you first get Essence Drain, you don't have very good cast speed, and the monster dies before you can proc Contagion a lot of the times. So I like Contagion as Chain as my first support gem to make it more consistent, where you can get a Essence Drain and a Contagion on the same monster. You could also go Unleash on your Contagion, which allows for 3 procs to occur where you cast Contagion and it will cast on 3 different monsters. The idea here is it's just initially it's a little bit hard to get both Essence Drain and Contagion on the same monster, which then allows the chain spread to just go out and proc on all the enemies. On top of that, as for damage links, we're going Consider Casting, Swift Affliction, and Zenith. I like to swap in Chain for while I'm clearing, and then when I get to a boss, I will swap in Zenith. That's what I've been doing. And then Contagion, we have Arcane Tempo, Unleash, Magnified for better spread. And then outside of those, we were doing Shield Charge initially throughout all the campaign run, but more recently, now that we're level 60 or something, we can get the level 14 gems, which allow us to add Blink into the build. And my favorite way to do Blink is to put it on the offhand weapon set 2, and then whenever you weapon set, you can Blink without spending any extra spirit reservation. We have all of our spirit put into the new reservation covalence and our withering presence. So the idea is when I weapon swap, it'll turn off covalence, turn on Blink, and I can do that without any issues. That's what's going on there. Simply a way to get access to Blink without having to reserve it on your main spirit pool, and we have Ingenuity on that. As for our other reservations, Withering Presence plus Persistence, right now currently at level 14, I'm getting up to about a 40, sometimes 45% wither on the enemy, and as we get to level 20, we'll probably have close to permanent uptime on that, especially with a little bit more skill effect duration, like if we have one skill effect duration roll on a jewel or something. I also am tagging in Clarity and Mysticism for spell damage and mana regen. I did this as my first reservation additions I added in after I killed the Bog Witch for 60 spirit. Feels pretty decent. Late game we might swap this out, but for right now I'm fine with it. And then the new support gem, Covalence, if you haven't seen this one yet, it basically is a Val discipline where it allows us to proc recharge on ES, which is huge for, like, it's gonna be massive as we become more of an ES build, where, you know, you get chipped down in damage and you need a quick save me. You can press this button to proc a Val discipline recharge, which is pretty dang cool. So that's the 2 reservation auras. And then last but not least, we have Despair. We're running Heightened Cursed, Focus Cursed, and Inspiration just to reduce some of the mana cost. And we are doing the same setup we did in the Spark Mage last time, where we would swap. For weapon set 2, we have Curse nodes, and for weapon set 1, we have damage nodes. The way this works is you put your Despair on weapon set 2, and all your other main skills like Contagion and Essence Drain on weapon set 1. Which means you're casting normally with your wand and stuff, and then when you do the curse, it'll proc your weapon set 2, it'll apply a higher effect curse, and then you go back to casting like normal. This means your curse has a bunch of duration, so instead of casting it once every like 8 seconds, you have to cast it once every 20 seconds. Feels way better, and it has a bunch of extra curse effect. Late game, we will have curse nodes down here as well for the instantaneous proc. So yeah, that's the gems. For the showcase, we're going to do our Merc Lab. Man, I'm really tired. Hopefully this goes okay. I cannot promise you anything in terms of me successfully doing this Merc Lab, as I am on the tail end of getting zoned out here, but I wanted to get this video together for people playing the Chaos stock character. So that way you guys have something to work with and knowing what skill gems to go for and gearing and whatnot. Another thing I should say, speaking of gearing, do not exalt your items unless you have a really good item that's worth it. Save your exalts and put all your money into initially getting like a +1, +2 Chaos Wand, a +1 all focus. That will carry your damage all the way through the campaign. And that's what I spent my exalts on. When I got my first few exalts, I spent it on damage upgrades. +1 amulet as well is a good thing to look out for. That's where we put all of our initial exalts into, was plus levels, percent damage investment, just to get you the damage numbers working. Turrets, ruin, minus max. Let's do minus max. I'm not overcapped, so maybe that'll be the right choice. I don't know. I need to swap some of this cold res around for other res, I guess. Over committed to cold. I have cold on both these runes. Wonder if I could get my stash mid trial. Is that a thing I am allowed to do? I think I'm allowed to pour, but I can't remember 100%. But anyways, as for how this character plays, it's pretty simple. We just kind of go around using Essence Drain. That's all there is to it. It's not super complicated. And then if we need to go anywhere, we can blink to get it wherever we need. Beat all the monsters. That. We can do that. We can defeat all the monsters. Hopefully, sorry, I'm really tired, so I'm probably not gonna be the best to tell you guys. Hopefully I've covered most of the information for what you need for the character, and this is giving you an idea of what it looks like. I want to do all the way through this Merc Lab just to get a full picture for you on what it looks like fighting monsters and whatnot. I don't even know if we're viable for a Merc Lab ultimatum because they're kind of hard, but we'll find out. And I do need to go this way. I'm getting lost. I was gonna say I should swap my res over since I have overcapped on cold res. I think I could port out. Hopefully this doesn't brick my ultimatum, but I think I can port out. And I'm pretty sure that I could go over and give myself better lightning res because I have lightning res runes in my stash. I just recently slammed on cold res on the shield I have. So if I go over here and I grab lightning res runes, I should be able to do this and this. That should be a bit more balanced on my resistances, probably. Hopefully. Find out. I went too far in one direction. I should have just only done one of the lightning runes. Okay, well, hopefully we don't die to cold damage. Gonna be a little bit awkward if we do. 40% less defense is pretty bad for ES builds. Deadly lightning's okay. Let's do the deadly lightning. As for goals for the character, what do I think the character's gonna be strong at? A lot of people have been asking me this. I think it'll be very tanky. I think we should be able to get 10k plus ES with raw DR from Lich and good recovery now that you can get an on-demand Val discipline, which is pretty cool. This thing right here comes off if you're in danger, you can proc that and proc an ES recharge, which is pretty cool. As for clearing, it's pretty much going to be contingent on our cast speed and then proccing Contagion plus ED. I think it's pretty good if you have dense like packs, like for example like this right here. You see I proc the ED and then it spreads around really nicely. I think that works out great. But if you don't have good density in packs, then it starts to be like, oh, I'm casting multiple times every couple of screens or whatever. So it just really depends on the density around there. I think for PoE 2 builds, I think our clear is going to be pretty solid. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this sort of clear where you can just Essence Drain Contagion. I can walk around, I can chill, and all these monsters are going to die as it chains around between them. The biggest question mark I have for the build going forward is going to be overall single target. Essence Drain was definitely on the bottom tier of single target abilities. They gave him some pretty big buffs with better support gems, way better base damage, better tree. They gave us like +1 on the tree and other stuff like that. So I am looking forward to see where it ends up shaking out with all those factors considered. But I think clear is going to be solid. I think tank's going to be really good. Tank's going to be probably the highlight of the character, I would think. And then the weakness of the character will be maybe single target. Right now during the campaign, I haven't had any issues with single target. So it's had a strong start, so to speak, for that. I will of course be streaming my entire run of the character, as well as planning to do regular uploads of this, minus more max res, large runes, deadly lightning. Let's do give monster speed. I don't know, man. See how this goes. But yeah, that's the rough plans for the build. I might go ahead and stop talking now and just let you guys appreciate gameplay because I'm too tired. And then you can judge the character's gameplay for what it is. But I'm zoning out here. I really want to go to bed, but I want to do this before I go to bed. So I know people are going to be people that are staying up all night or people that are just on the other side of the planet. That are different time zones, etc. I want to make sure I get this done now. I guess maybe I could have done. I guess I said I was gonna shut up, but I'm gonna stay. I'm thinking now I could have done a something that was like a lower time involved showcase. But speaking of what we're doing for the character, I should also say we are doing you'll notice we have mind over matter. Ascendancy points, we started out with these 4 nodes here. This Soulless Form plus a bit of mana regenerate here and here and a little bit of life investment works out pretty well for mind over matter in terms of tanking boss mechanics. I'd say it saved us from failing boss fights. Maybe I think we died twice in boss fights throughout the entire campaign. All the other deaths were us just getting surrounded because I tried to speed run past monsters too fast a couple times. But I'd say we probably would have died at least 10 more times in boss fights if it wasn't for mind over matter. And then the amount of times those fights we would have failed additional times after the fact because we continued to die because we didn't have mind over matter probably would have been a lot more on top of that. Because the mind over matter basically pushed us beyond the threshold of getting one-shot by most of the mechanics. And I think it worked out pretty well. You have to be pretty wary of your mana flask consumption when doing this. But combination of mana flask plus okay life pool makes us get quite a bit of life regen from this ascendancy point. Our next ascendancy point, Eternal Life, really doesn't do much for the build in terms of helpfulness until we become more of an ES build and we drop mind over matter. But that is a later thing in the character. As for starting nodes, the way I path this character, we went straight up through damage, over to here, grabbed this damage, then we went up here, grabbed this damage, went up here, grabbed this damage, then I branched out, well, I got mana regen, and then I branched out, grabbed mind over matter. Then I went and got damage and more damage. And then I started grabbing all the ES nodes and the recharge nodes. That was the rough pathing I took throughout the campaign. Figured I should probably cover that. Bosses deal more damage. Large runes will appear that will call deadly lightning storms if you remain in them. Let's upgrade the lightning storm.
Lightning always strikes twice.
This is a boss wave. We'll put on our Zenith for the boss wave, and hopefully I don't break this boss fight. How we do? Reload the curse. Miss the curse, of course. Curse again. That time we actually hit it. I don't really know how this boss mechanic works. Find out. I think this is the boss that was like a tornado or something. Usually I like to be close to the boss fight so I can dodge their mechanics, but yeah, this guy has the tornado. I think this one we're supposed to stand far away from. Kite the tornado, don't stand near it, and then we're fine. And then, yeah, Blink is nice to get around various boss mechanics. I don't know what he... This also... No idea what this guy's doing. Okay. Guess he has stuff that just covers the arena. Can't hit him while he's in tornado phase. No. Yeah, we can just kite around, just not get hit by. Alright. That boss, I think, is the hardest of the ultimatum bosses aside from the Trial Master. And I think we did mostly okay. We have a good ES pool on top of life, on top of mana, our raw EHP for our level, and our gearing is pretty high, to be honest. And so I think it's working out just
impressive. Normally,
Counter contains several petrified tattoos. Ancient Val mechanisms will deploy and attack nearby intruders. Honestly, I don't know. A lot of this stuff sounds kind of annoying. I'm gonna keep upgrading the lightning runes. I have okay lightning res. It should be fine, right? It should be fine. It's gonna be awkward if I do all this and the 7 wave doesn't actually give me my Merclab Ascendancy, which might be the case. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I kind of forget if this gives me my Merclab Ascendancy. I just thought it did. It's gonna be a little bit awkward. We might be just doing this for nothing. This might not give Merclab Ascendancy. See, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it probably doesn't give Merclab Ascendancy. Dang it. I don't think it does, actually. Whatever. We're finishing it anyways. Unless, of course, we fail. Also possible.
Not yet.
Room complete. How many rooms to go? Find out.
I think you'll like this next
And
one.
gloves that aren't very good. Less AoE proj speed. Do the proj speed. This proj speed makes Essence Drain feel weird. We had this on our Cruel Lab, but I think that versus a bad downslide, like something that's going to chase me around, sounds like the preferred. collect soul cores. We should probably clear these guys out.
None can oppose me.
Core acquired, and now we need to go to the one that's down on the side over here, I guess. Down here. Hopefully we don't get one tapped by these lightning runes that we have building up on the ground. Well, this isn't good. I think this like rune like makes us take increased damage. Need to put it down so badly it's making us take damage. Holy, that's so dangerous. It's like you have to engage with the animation to like but then you're worried about getting stun locked out of it or whatever, and then you still have the thing on your back. Putting this debuff that's just draining you down. Not an ideal situation. Ooh, movement speed, nice. Anything else good?
I think you'll like
Fire
this
res. What
next
about
one.
Regal? Ooh, mana.
Long
Not bad. Bleed chance. Monsters crit, 40% less defense. Let's give monsters the ability to crit us.
a strike for the heart.
I think we're back at a boss. Oh, I never swapped out a chain or swapped back. Oh, this boss. This is the worst of the boss in my opinion. The bird's like difficult, but this boss is just like, hey, let me waste your time. He just likes to fly way too much.
I'll engineer some of the fiercest creatures ever.
See what I mean? Instantly flying.
I need more time.
Gotta figure out where he went. Where'd you go this time, buddy? Okay, doing this. Hit the fire.
Wither away!
Down low. Here again. Here. Link is just so useful to have in the offhand just to get away from this stuff.
Your family.
Alright, trial completed. We successfully
Time.
defeated whatever this was. I don't know, man. All right. Don't think this gets us an
I
ascendancy.
need more
I
time.
think we need to do the 10 wave thing, but I kind of forgot about that. I'll verify real quick. I wasn't even looking at the trial rewards.
I think not.
Skeleton bow, projectile, fire fizz. We'll leave that on the ground. It's not that good. Click this. Nope, no ascendancy. All right. Anyways, that's what the character looks like currently after the 10 hours of playtime and completing the campaign. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this update, and I will be doing more updates each day of the progression of character. And hopefully, when I do my future updates, I won't be as tired as I am now. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the look at the chaos.character, and there will be a link to the planner and a path of building for the character below in the description of this video. As always, thanks for watching, Exiles. Take care and peace out. Have a good one.